Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Duke, and I'm going to be talking to you about my mini unit presentation. So, as you're watching right now, this is my video, but I'm also going to leave my actual slideshow that I had for my unit itself, because that's I kind of all the directions and how I taught the lessons all go along with the slideshow I have. So I'll put that as well in this area, so that you can be able to check that out and get an even better glimpse of what my unit is all about. So to start off, I did my unit on statistics. I really love the older grades in elementary school, specifically 6th grade. The higher they are, the more enjoyable I find them. And I thought it was super cool that they're teaching statistics to 6th graders. So I thought, what would be a great thing to do? Let's challenge myself, because I took a statistics class in high school. I ended up dropping out of it because I didn't need it, and it was a lot of work. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to challenge myself and learn a concept, get better at something. And so statistics I thought was really fun. So I focused on 2 standards within the statistics and probabilities, and that is one, recognizing a statistical question as one that anticipates variability in the data related to the question and accounts for it in the answers. And then secondly, I had students understand that a set of data collected to answer a statistical question has distribution, which can be described by its center, spread, and overall shape. And for that second standard, I actually focused mostly on talking what is a frequency table, what is mode, median, and mean. So that's kind of what I focused mostly on. So if we look over here, here's some very, very quick, brief lesson overview of everything I've done. The first lesson, we focused on what is a statistical question, and during that lesson, I had students, be questioned, given questions, and they have to really think about what makes them different. What makes the question, is Jeremy, 5'6", different from what is the average height in the classroom? And so students had to think about that, and so that's what I focused on: statistical questions, and trying to have students discern what makes a question statistical compared to non-statistical questions. The second lesson, I focused on frequency tables and modes. So trying to figure out, okay, now we got this statistical question. How do we gather that data and then figure out the mode? Which mode is basically the data that pops up the most. So, for instance, I think for that lesson, I'm not 100% sure, it's either this for lesson 2 or lesson 3. I'm pretty sure for lesson 2, I had students gather in groups based on their birthday month. And then after they got in their group, we would go and record that data, make a frequency table, and based upon the month that had the most students have that same month's birthday, that is the mode. So I taught them that. And then they did some independent work and practice with that. On lesson 3, I focused on median and mean. So median is kind of the middle number, where you're going from each outside, so slowly going in and in, so the middle number there. And then the mean is you add everything up, you divide them the amount of data you have, and finding the average of it. And so, yet again, we had students working on trying to gather data from within the classroom or from different experiences they've had, and then I had them find those. Still working on the frequency tables and mode, but also adding now the median and mean into it for them to fully understand and kind of get a wider grasp of things. And at the end of the third lesson, I had tried to challenge students to try to think about how they can use this in the real world. And so what I did was I had them pretend to be like an elf for Santa, and they're running out of time for Christmas, and they had to try to figure out do they use the mode, median, mean? How do they figure out the way to make the most optimal Christmas present to focus on, something like that. And the fourth lesson, it was a bit of a bigger one, but I mixed it in with the engineering topic, and it was all about bridge building. So the students were brought into 4 different groups. One had popsicle sticks, one had straws, one had I think paper, the other one had cardboard, and everyone in that group had to make their own bridge. And then as a whole class, they measured and see at what point did the bridge break, at what weight. And then they had to pretend like they're part of this company that was bridge building. They tried to talk about what is the most efficient material to build bridges with. And they had to write a report about that and to be able to figure that out. So that's what it focused on. The unit design, I always start with standards. So I choose what standards I'm working on. And after those standards, I choose the objectives. How am I going to get the students to understand that standards? How are they going to look at the objectives? And then I'm going to think of best strategies to help teach the students. And after that, I think of how can I make this lesson fun and engaging. How do I bring to life statistics? That's how I do my unit design usually. So success I had is that I created a really fun and engaging final lesson to the unit. I thought that building bridges is fun. I always like that engineering side of things, building things, and from when I work with students, a lot of the times they love that as well. And also I connected to a possible real world situation where they might need to use statistics. And then also students were flexible, with which route they wanted to argue for the material. So I thought that final lesson was really good. And then a challenge I had is I struggled a lot with specifics. And this has been a struggle my whole life. I'm a very adaptable person, on the spot type of person. I was a professional improv comedian for a while, and so I rely on that a lot with my teaching and planning. So I have a really hard time trying to figure out what specifics, exactly how long is this going to take, how much do I write here and there. So that was a huge challenge for me. Overall, that's my lesson. I hope you had a good time learning about it. I look forward to reading your guys' lessons too. Okay, have a great week, everyone. Bye.